Sonic Frontiers. This game released 3 years ago, and we still haven't heard anything about the next mainline Sonic game, at least at the time of recording this video. I feel like, even though it's been 3 years and we still haven't heard anything about the next mainline Sonic game, the wait between Sonic Forces to Sonic Frontiers was even longer, which is why it doesn't really bother me. But let's talk about Frontiers. Before the release of Sonic Frontiers, the game was not looking very great. At least when the IGN gameplay first revealed it, so many people were trashing on it. People hated the way the game looked. Me being one of them, I thought it looked very empty and didn't have a lot going for it. But I felt like there was hope, and thankfully, throughout the more we saw of the game, the better it started to look, and the trailers got better, everything got better, and although I was still skeptical before release, it ended out to be a pretty well-selling, one of the best-selling, and a pretty decent rated Sonic game. For me personally, it's a 7 out of 10 game. But I feel like so many aspects in Frontiers that were not as good. The game's very unpolished. It doesn't look the best in certain scenes. Not that it looks bad, but there's stuff in the game that can be done better. And one of those things being the art style. I don't think the Sonic Frontiers art style looks bad anyway. I think the game looks pretty good. But the art style, in my opinion, is very unoriginal, uninspired, and it looks bland. It just looks like every other video game. When I feel like for a character like Sonic, you can he's his design. He's like a cartoon character. You can do so much and make him. You don't have to put him in like a fully cartoonish world, but you can maybe stylize it. When I think of stylized art styles for Sonic, I think of Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Generations, which is personally my favorite, I think, and Sonic X Shadow Generations or Shadow Generations. I think those three games are the best looking Sonic games in terms of art style. And if Frontiers was to take something more similar to that approach rather than going for the hyper realistic, Breath of the Wild, open world, like that typical stuff. Because honestly, Frontiers it looks like an Unreal Engine 5 demo if you just, not to be mean, but if you just like look at it without any context and you just remove Sonic, it just looks like something you would be able to create in Unreal Engine 5, which I don't like that. I think Sonic, his art style can be better, it can be more unique. As for other things the game could maybe use, I would say a better voice direction. Now, I don't think Roger Craig Smith or anybody who worked on this game did a bad job voicing the characters. I actually think they did a really decent/good job when it comes to voicing the characters, especially when it comes to the characterization. I feel like for a lot of the characters, except one, I feel like it was pretty decent. But I don't like the voice direction. I feel like the voice actors can do so much better without this weird voice direction. It's not that I hate it. Again, I don't hate it, but I think it can be done way better. And in Shadow Generations, I also didn't really like the voice direction in that game. Not for Shadow, but for Sonic. I think Sonic, his voice can sound a lot better. Rather than making him sound like this depressed older Nathan Drake, maybe they can make him sound more similar to how he sounded before. I don't need him to sound overly, energetic or cartoony, but I want him to sound mature, which I feel like fits with Roger's voice. But I also want him to sound like Sonic and not just Roger reading a line or reading, his lines. As for another thing, I think Amy's character arc was not that good. It's not that I hate her character arc or that I hate her character, it's just I feel like it was a rehash from Sonic Adventure 1. And if it's true that in the next game, at the end of Frontiers, all the characters say they're going to go on their own adventures. So hopefully for the next Sonic game, I don't want them to bring them back or just to put the old cast back. I want them to stay away for maybe one game, and then maybe we could work with other characters like Silver, Blaze, Shadow, any other characters besides Amy and Knuckles. Maybe Knuckles can come back, but Tails and Amy, they can. Maybe it's best if they don't appear in the next Sonic game, just so that it doesn't ruin the ending of Sonic Frontiers. And for other video games, another issue I can think of Frontiers is the combat. Now, I like the Frontiers combat, I think it's fun. But after a while or after a certain time, it does get a little bit stale and it doesn't feel as original because it just feels like, oh, you're pressing a button and then automatic win. And what another thing that bothers me is that in the video game, although I like some of the moves and abilities you can do and pull off during combat, I think it's just the same. Like, none of the moves are responsible for different stuff. All of them just does damage, it does damage, it does more damage, and then it does more damage. Like, it's not like you need to use this move besides the side loop, I guess, but it's not like you need to use this move for this enemy, this move for that enemy, or do something like that. Honestly, if I were to say maybe a combat system they can take inspiration from, I've heard a lot of people say Devil May Cry, and after seeing and playing some of it, I can definitely see why it would work. And the final thing that I have is animation. I've seen the leak animation that they were working on, and I'm not gonna lie, if that's true, I really hope they buff the animation, because in my opinion, after playing Shadow Generations, I love that game. I think the animations could be done so much better. Imagine in an open world with all the things. Not saying Frontiers' animation is bad, it's great in some parts, but not so great in other parts. And I feel like they can create better animation now that they have higher budget, they have more employees, and with Frontiers 2 coming around, they can make better animations for the story. As for the game, as for boss fights, I want them to bring back rival fights, honestly. I love the Titan fights in the previous game, but I think it would be cool if we got the fight with Shadow actually again, with a fully advanced combat system and you can fight with Shadow. Think of in Spider-Man 2 when Peter and Miles were fighting together. Something similar to that with a great combat system. And I think that could be pretty fun. Or maybe, and I don't want them to only have big Titan level boss fights. I would like them to have it maybe in the middle or at the end of the game. But I feel like for the rest of the video games, we can just do normal enemies and focus on stories. I also want them for the open world. I feel like in Frontiers it was a little bit more empty because the ancients left and it was a destroyed civilization, that type of stuff. But for the next game, I want to see NPCs. I want to be able to talk to NPCs, do side quests, do this, and help around, because I feel like in Sonic's world, it's a brand of so many colorful, unique characters that you can talk to. So I think it would be nice to have some side missions where you help characters and where you go and save people or help people or destroy robots. That could be very cool. Those are kind of just some of my what ifs or hopes for the next Sonic game. At least at the time of this recording, like I said, it hasn't been announced yet, even though everybody thought it was going to appear at the Game Awards, me too. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed my statements or enjoyed what I talked about. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye. Peace.